I'll have to double check on that.
We're here back in topic 2, the second part of the topic of the show for Great Scott Marcus for this week, and we left off on the note that Peaky Blinders this is probably the weakest season, but again, I think we should also come back to this and say that, like, this is Peaky fucking Blinders. Like, this is a sick-ass kind of indie, almost BBC-like production that, like, even Season 3 is better than most shows around.
Shit on TV, on
and
that is.
And, coming back into it, during the break, we both shut each other up because it's just like, wait,
Here's a lot to be said about
we
this.
want to talk about the music.
I would say mostly because, like, if anybody's seen this and has watched a previous show, I think is the one we were talking about Battlefront and Call of Duty, at least I ripped on the music choices, and I think you did too for the
raps. Yeah, I'm gonna post that
conversation we had about E3 about the rap song.
Okay, yeah, you know,
Battlefield.
If you guys haven't seen it, it's basically, you know, top 40 hip hop with World War I action going on in the background.
I do want to make it clear, I really like rap. Like, I listen to instrumental hip hop and rap all the time, and you know, like it's not like I don't appreciate a good rap, good hip hop. Jay-Z, New Jabez, 88 Ultra, Blue Sky,
I still
Black
listen
Death.
to New Jabez. That's good shit.
It is,
Really
and it's just like these aren't the songs that fit these trailers, but when it comes to Peaky Blinders, so
fucking
like
perfect.
So like for me, I was out of my first surgery, and I was sick this day. I had so, you know, being on crutches and my mom going back to work, I was, you know, often looking for the easy way to do things. So instead of washing the toaster oven pan, I put the pretzel dog in on the unwashed, just kind of grate in the toaster oven. And I got sick from that. I got food poisoning. And so I was dealing with food poisoning, and I was just like, I need something to watch. And, you know, Peaky Blinders is right there, and who's the guy who plays Tommy?
Cillian Murphy.
Thank you. Love that actor. And,
he's phenomenal. It's great in everything he does.
Actually, is it Jillian? I don't think it's Killian, because that sounds too cool.
It is. It's Cillian Murphy.
I hate you.
28 Days Later and Batman Begins.
You're probably right. You're better on actors' names than I am. But
it's with a C, so it looks kind of odd. But
so
it's C-I-L-I, yeah.
I was just like, Cillian Murphy is how I pronounce it.
Yeah, I think actually he's Irish.
Yes,
so
but as we've recently proven with debauchery, you are not the best at pronunciations.
And Jalapeno.
I don't know. I might start using that.
You never heard of Jalapeno?
No.
Really? Oh, that's a good
you
one.
have to remember I've been out of society for like 3 years. So when I started watching this show, I was just like, what's with this song? I don't care. I just need background noise.
Well,
and
the song is called Red Right Hand, which is like, was it the Irish Army or something like that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't care. I wasn't going to look up anything on it. I wasn't going to, you know, really invest in knowing what the song was about. It just wasn't a good sounding song to my ears. Not at the time. And then the show starts going, and man, even after that first episode now, like looking back, like as soon as that second episode started playing, I was just like, yes! Like it fits so perfectly. All of just that ding.
I think like the ding got perfected. I'm not sure at what point. It's not quite episode 1, episode 2 of season 1 yet, because like.
I think it started with the clang of hammers instead of the actual ding.
Yeah.
It
is good. It's just
so that sound, it just resonates so much, and like there are so many moments that just resonate so much between the characters and between characters and yourself as a viewer, and the lyrics, you know, like just
What's the creator's name? Stephen Knight, I believe.
Yeah, I've got the IMDb pulled up here. Yep, it's Stephen Knight.
What else has he done? He did Locke and something else. I don't remember.
I didn't like all the penis in Locke, so
No, Locke. No, that's Bronson had the penis.
Oh,
Locke was Tom Hardy in a car for an hour and a half.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
It was intense. But you know, when a director can make an hour and a half of one actor in a car and a cell phone intense, he did a good job. But you know, this is his creation. He created Peaky Blinders, and so tip of the hat for whoever is also doing the music to this, because it fits perfectly with the direction of the show. You know, it's
seedy and
it's gritty. Like, it's gritty, it's dirty. Like, the music is dirty. Like, it's not like clean acoustic guitars, unless like when in season 3 when Grace died. Obviously it's going to change. It's not going to play a fucking song. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was the same song but slowed down and sung by someone different.
And also the lack thereof. Sometimes music is just inserted at such poor moments, but like in these moments of intensity, it's just pure quiet between like the brothers John and Arthur sitting down at that table in the middle of a fucking alley talking to the Italians, and it's just so good, just creating this kind of like emotional resonance within the viewer, and you know that. I don't want to divert from the music, but even that was one of the best moments in this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's perfect with the direction
episodes
of the show too, you know, like, because the direction, the cinematography is also equally as gritty. You know, you're not looking at, you know, something that's beautiful and bright and, you know, full of colors. Like, it's very neutral. It's tamed down, but it's fitting for the time, obviously. And despite the music not being exactly with the time, it still it backs up the feeling that you get from the direction and the cinematography and even the fucking dialogue. You know, like, it's dirty, it's gritty. Like, they're not speaking, you know, in an eloquent dialect, you know, or manner. Exactly. You know, they're saying fuck all the time. Like, it's not the proper British. You know, it's dirty, it's gritty, it's
gypsy.
It's exactly. And I feel like, you know, the music, you know, it all ties in perfectly, and that's what. That good job.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about just as you were talking about just kind of this cinematic feel to these 6 episodes per season, and also how, man, the juxtapositions that are made between like characters where it's just like Arthur did the very, you know, like they kind of flipped a coin over this, but really Arthur just kind of dealt the hand of killing that Russian spy or whatever the hell he was that was at their wedding, and then yet it was him and John that actually still had heart when Tommy was being kind of monstrous and wanting to torture the Italian mob boss.
Right.
And now we might even be seeing a juxtaposition going into season 4 where Arthur and John are going to potentially come out of prison, and Tommy is the one with the heart now. Because
if they even go to prison.
Tommy is the one who is left behind now while they're all dragged off by the police. And I love that ending. It's just that this was a very busy season. I don't like it when there's a kid involved, almost ever, in my movies, in my shows. I like that they minimalized his role, but I don't know, like, that was something I couldn't buy out of season 3, was Tommy's affection towards his son. And I'm sure a ton of that has to do with the brevity of the season.
Well, and also I think Grace's death, you know, I feel like in the beginning of, you know, the first, like, after which episode she died, but, you know,
I believe it was 2 or maybe
it
even
might have been 3.
I think it was 2 because it transitions right into the next episode being the start of after her funeral.
Okay.
But it might have been 3.
I mean, I might be mistaken in this, but I feel like you didn't really feel as much of a connection with Tommy and his kid until after she died.
It was the kind of journey to the gypsy to trade off the cursed amulet.
Yes.
Another moment that I liked, we talked about this in text, where it was just like all these characters that were already in prior seasons just popped up, and they were still recognizable. Even Tom Hardy's character, who
Oh my God.
I love.
Solomon?
I love Solomon.
I think that was the greatest part of this season was Solomon and Tommy Shelby like going at it, and Solomon's just like, the fuck, man, like you would have done the same thing.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, that was such a cool moment.
Oh,
I
so good.
love his character in this show. I love Tom Hardy in this show. Like,
I love Tom Hardy in general.
I think that's
kills
why.
whatever he does.
I think that's why season 2 is one of my probably my favorite season, because it's just like, he has such a role in season 2. Also, it's just like the Peaky Blinders still seem to have this presence about them. They oh God, I don't want to spoil it for you.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they go to like London, and they end up just basically like interrupting this gang's kind of territory, and then just beating the shit out of all their patrons. Sorry for the spoilers.
I remember part of
it's a great moment, and it's not very spoiler-esque, but like I love that those characters still popped up in the season. I can't help but wonder if in season 4 or if we go to season 5, which I think we will. I think this show is actually pretty damn popular.
I don't think you can wrap it up in one season at this point.
I don't think there's any kind of wrap up in sight.
I really feel like
but this is also a show that looks like it could stop on a dime.
it's true. They all die.
Yeah.
But no, like I feel like like any show out there, there
is a spider this time, by the way. So this will be the final episode of Great Scott Marcus, as I will be burning my house down. Granted, that is probably a dead spider because I did just spray last night, but yeah, house burning down party.
Yeah, definitely. But any TV show that has a protagonist, there usually is a rise, a plateau, and a fall. And seasons 1 and 2 were definitely a part of the rise.
I don't know. There were so many ups and downs. Like when he was in that field, my mind.
Oh yeah, it was blown. But still, your mind's going crazy. But when it concluded, he's just like, Churchill's going to be in direct contact with you. Like, holy shit, this is still either a part of the rise or he's about to plateau. The question is season 3 a part of still? Is he still rising? Is he plateaued, or are they starting their demise as such a authority figure?
I've so wanted to wiki the Peaky Blinders to see if they're an actual. I think they were an actual gang, and really? I don't want to spoil anything for myself, so I don't want to see any notes they might be taking from history.
I can tell the daylight's going away by my situation going on.
It's fine. So before we get into that, because that is a pretty finalizing kind of discussion, what I did want to say was going into season 5, season 6 potentially. Season 4, season 5 potentially. I can't help but wonder if they're going to bring the other woman back. Again, don't remember her name, but it is actually hard to keep up with all of the names that are in this show. Let's see.
She's brunette, right?
Yes, it wasn't Lizzie Stark. She is the secretary. She's not a show.
I don't remember her name at all.
Alfie Solomons, that's Tom Hardy. Finn Shelby. Princess. Nope, that's the Russian. Although the Russian's role was quite interesting in this as well. I loved
She was fucking nuts, man.
She was. I loved his.
God.
I loved the ending where he was paying her, and she's like, for, like, she charged him for the sex, and then she was basically like, I forget the line she used, but it was like, for the grief counseling, and he was like, you didn't even come close.
Oh, about, like, the whole thing.
Yeah, for helping him to get over
Dude,
Grace.
and then she, like, fucking killed her accountant or whatever, and she went against her family. Like, what the fuck?
That, I feel like, was just a part of her character. It all fit to me.
I didn't expect any of that.
I feel like all of that fit. I mean, like, I looked away, so the gun chart very much, oh god, very much startled me. But when I finally was just like, what? Oh yeah,
that's totally her character though. But
yeah,
low key, I would not mind seeing her again.
I would prefer she stays the fuck out of the show. I really want to know who was it. Mary? It might have been Mary. I'm gonna watch this series again. I'm gonna watch the whole series again. Probably after I'm done with the league, and I'm probably gonna beat you.
It's baseball season, bro.
Now, getting into the like what happens from here, our final notes of this recording. Unless you have anything else to add about season 3, other than watch Peaky Blinders.
I think I about covered everything that I wanted to discuss.
It was a really good season. I'm kind of happy that Grace is gone.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion about it.
It's not that I didn't like her character. I just didn't
but
like
what else is she gonna do?
I didn't like the dynamic between her and Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also, what happens to her from here?
Yeah, season 1 and 2 is all about her infiltrating
being
him.
a detective.
Yeah, and she accomplished that task. And season 3 was, now she's with him. She's aware of his dealings. And she really served, sadly to say, no other purpose than to be his wife and mother to his child. So I completely get killing her character off because she wasn't a part of any plot anymore.
I mean, I don't feel like Polly was huge in this season, and they didn't need to kill off Polly, which they didn't.
She had a weird thing happen to her though, which was bizarre with the painter.
Oh yeah, but that was such a small note that didn't even have to register.
It kind of showed like she did have a. I feel like she was always tough as nails. Well, no, you know what? She did show weakness, and I think they showed weakness again.
I'm just feeling like the finality of Grace didn't have to be her dying.
Right.
I just think that I think it was a good choice.
If she was there, she'd have just been there. I think that's the problem with the show.
It was probably between the end of that episode and the beginning of the next were probably the high point of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it felt quite low. It was an impactful moment that would catch many by surprise unless you decide to watch this before watching season 3. And
that's true. You fucked up.
And it reflected how much control Thomas has over himself, because the only real lash out he made was towards the Italian boss, and that was so minimal. And it was minimalized by Arthur, but again, we kind of circle back to this,
And John.
But we kind of circle back to like the family is still very important to Thomas, whether it's about him or it's about the whole of them to him. So again, closing out, unless you have anything else to add.
So, my lingering question, about the show is like, is it like I really never thought about it until you brought it up. Is it about him and the extended family, meaning Paul, Lizzie, John, Arthur, Michael?
I mean,
or is it about him and his kid, which I think is Charles?
I mean, like we can even circle back to where is she? Finn, Ada, the sister.
Yeah.
That she is such a big deal to him. Every time she was threatened, he kind of panicked. And again, that was kind of another weak point where it's just it's too little control for Tommy. Is it a decline, like you said? We've seen the plateau and now we're seeing the decline, or is this just a weak season? Does Netflix have weak season 3s?
I should watch Orange is the New Black and see what's up there.
I don't want to. I have no interest in that show.
I've heard it's good.
I know, I have too, but when I think of the premise, I'm just like, and see the commercials, I'm just like, I am so uninterested.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this show is going to be surprising how long it's going to last. In fact, it could potentially go longer than House of Cards in my mind. I could see this going for 7 or 8 seasons. And the whole time, I was actually thinking, like, are we actually going to get seasons in America? Where, like, they actually have an American set and just completely, get rid of the English set.
I don't know, man. I think Netflix is going to... They've got too much of a big American presence. They're not going to have like a ABC version of Peaky Blinders. That'd be fucking awful.
No, I'm not saying ABC-inize this. I'm saying, like...
like them heading to America? Like they're talking about? I fucking hope so.
Yeah, how did you not keep up with that? I don't know if we're going to allow that anymore.
But you have to admit, I'm a bit looser in conversation when I do have a beer.
Maybe not so thick a beer next time. That looks like you're drinking Guinness.
I ran out.
Are you drinking Guinness?
No, I'm drinking 21st Amendment Back in Black.
Never heard of it.
It's a black IPA and it's delicious.
Yeah, not so thick next time. Go with something more summery. A summer shandy.
I have some Krabbies, but I don't ginger beer.
So. Yeah, I could entirely see the season pushing into season 7, or the series pushing into season 7, season 8.
Honestly, love to see like a Boston bit out of this, because they talked about me going to Boston and like expanding. That'd be fucking cool, man.
Yeah, I know. Like that's where
Boston,
especially after Grace died. That's where my head was at. I was just like, they're going to America, like. Also, did the Italian's wife board the Titanic?
Maybe.
Because I think that happened. When I rewatch season 3, I'm going to pay really close attention to that part, because that would be incredibly sad. Yeah, so...
Hey, maybe Ben Affleck and Matt Damon can star in season 4 if they're in Boston. Not star, but, make an appearance, just like Tom Hardy's appearance.
Possibly. Hope. I would even love to see a more solidified role from Hardy, just like as a part of an ongoing, even in a Boston scene. But I
don't think he's that kind of character, though, in the show.
I also think he's too expensive. But also, you can probably get away with so much because of how short these seasons are.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tom Hardy's a prime actor, so he probably knocked out his part within like a day.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, they didn't have him on for multiple filmings. It was just, we're going to film you out 2 scenes, and then you're leaving as fast as possible. Get off our set.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was surprised by how this season... I was surprised by how predictable this season opened. And then Grace died, and then there were just a lot of new elements. I don't know... like, on House of Cards, we kind of gave, like, a foreword on what we think was going to happen.
I don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah. This is not the show for that. So, like, no. all I really want to say is, like, this isn't over. If they ended it next season, I would be shocked and severely disappointed.
Words. Okay. So, I think what makes it harder to kind of figure out what exactly is going to go on for the next season is the gap between 2 and 3. Like when 3 started, it showed that bit about, him almost being shot and buried in a cornfield or whatever fucking field it is, to the dude being like, Churchill's going to be in contact with you. Season 3 opens 2 years later or 3 years later, whatever it is. It shows. So that
was the first jump. I mean, obviously there's only been 3 seasons, but that was shocking.
Can that happen again?
I don't want it to.
That's what keeps it.
I would love to come back and it is you see Tommy standing in the doorway and it's like a week later.
I would like that too. I really would, because I think the gap between 2 and 3 was pretty much just him working for Churchill, I'm sure, and doing jobs and succeeding in it. But at this point, like this is such a cliffhanger where it's just like, what's going on with the family? Like we need to see what's going on. But then again, I can't predict it, and it might say 1 year later, and nothing seems to have changed. Who knows?
I mean, you can't skip what happened to them in jail now. Like that setup cannot be avoided. There was no real huge setup at the end of season 2, which is why I think they were allowed to make that jump. But you can't. Here you have, like, there is a salient thing moving forward. Something has to come of they're in jail, or they're being detained, or they're under house arrest, which I don't think existed back then.
Probably not.
Or something. It's too hard to predict.
It's hard to tell.
This show is so much happens over the course of 6 episodes. All I can really say is I hope we get season 4 before the end of the year, honestly, because seasons 1 and 2 happened in pretty quick succession.
Really?
They were before a year of each other.
Really, I didn't know that. That's good.
Let me.
I thought it just was like late to the party when I watched season 1, because then season 2 happened awfully quick.
I don't think I was that late. I'm fairly certain it was like season 1 happened around like fall, and then season 2 happened around like the spring after that.
Well, what's weird is I feel like there's always been marketing for Orange is the New Black and House of Cards, but Peaky really never, at least not that I'm aware of, had any kind of marketing campaign.
I think it's also worth bearing in mind that Netflix isn't just an American thing. There is European Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
There,
they could be huge in fucking Europe.
Yeah, there could be all kinds of different marketing campaigns. There could be regional marketing campaigns. Yeah. So
and Orange is the New Black and House of Cards, probably no one might watch that over in Europe. We don't know. That's a good point.
So let me double check when these seasons aired. So it was the 12th of September 2013, and they are showing this is prioritizing the UK viewership. Which is weird because is it not a Netflix original? It's showing different air dates.
It's in different countries. I know they do have different air dates for movies, at least. I'm not sure about TV shows. Actually, I think like TV shows that are current too can do the same thing. Like if you're in Europe or China or whatever, you can probably catch a TV that's currently on less than a year before it's finished. But it's also a part of. It's not a.
It's just that it's like original air date 12th of September 2013. Episode 2, 19th of September 2013.
Well, it is. I mean, it's House of Cards is Netflix only. Peaky Blinders is also partnered with Weinstein Company or Weinstein Productions or whatever.
I have a feeling it might air.
They might have a say in where it gets aired or how it gets aired in certain regions.
Here it is. The first series aired on BBC 2 on September 13th, 2013, and ran for 6 episodes. And then the second episode, so like it's in part. They're basically it's a partnership, and it is airing separately in the UK. And
it's kind of like Catastrophe on Amazon. It's originally aired on some British channel, but then it gets released on Prime as a whole season.
The final 3 episodes of, the final episode of season 3 only just aired in the UK on BBC 2. So
interesting.
Let's see. So why was I here? I don't even remember why I came here. We could go to the video, but then that'd be kind of complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
We learned something new about the series, though. That's good.
Indeed. But yeah, I do want to be careful how much I read on this series because I don't want to spoil anything for myself, potentially, if it's based on anything in reality.
Well, it's getting awfully dark on my screen.
yeah, we've gone long, so it's about time to wrap up anyways. So, not like a highly detailed look at or conversation on Peaky Blinders, but at the same time, like 6 episodes is hard to really dissect Goddamn spider.
Speaking of dissect.
And, ew, no. And there really isn't much more to say on the show other than, like, give us more, please.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem to have consistent viewership across the UK viewing. So, yeah. Mark?
Watch Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably won't regret it. But I would recommend watching with the subtitles on.
It is for those who like movies like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch.
If you like that gritty gangster style, like if you're a Guy Ritchie fan, it's right up your alley. Absolutely.
Probably if you liked The Sopranos, I was thinking the other day.
Even House of Cards. I think if you're a House of Cards fan, you probably like this.
Yeah, I agree with
even
that.
though the style of House of Cards isn't necessarily gritty, the plot mechanics.
The characters,
you know, kind of deceiving, unpredictable.
Seedy, very plotting, cautious, careful most of the time.
Sure.
Damn it.
Would recommend.
All right, so this has been the 13th episode of Great Scott Marcus. I've been Scott, and that one's Mark. Feel free to like, subscribe, share. Really don't like doing that, but can't grow a channel without saying that kind of thing. So really appreciate those of you who choose to do so.
And it helps us know that you watch and keeps us encouraged to create more content for y'all.
It does. So, Mark, as you like to say, internet,
do good things.
Later, guys.